Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we are going to look at something genuinely special. We're going to decode the blueprint for an incredibly vital tech for good startup. Most people know they really should talk about how they're feeling, right? But most of us just don't. And a big reason for that is there's no easy place to do it without feeling like a total burden. Therapy is expensive and hard to access, our friends are busy, and honestly, standard journaling can sometimes just feel a bit like homework. But what if there was something right in the middle? Something you could check in with every single day that actually listened, noticed the patterns you couldn't quite see yourself, and gently pointed you toward things that actually help. Let's take a calm, measured look at how to actually build an AI mental health journal.
So let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. We'll hit 1. The mental health gap. 2. The AI journal solution. 3. Building responsibly. 4. The startup tech stack. 5. The revenue model. And we'll wrap up with 6. Launching with trust. Starting with Section 1, the mental health gap. Billions affected, but the infrastructure simply cannot keep up.
Globally, we're talking about depression and anxiety affecting over 1 billion people. And the core problem here isn't that people don't want help. It's that our infrastructure literally can't keep up with the sheer demand. To put that into perspective for you, 1 in 4 people in the UK will experience a mental health problem each year. 1 in 4. Just like that staggering statistic, breathe for a second. This is absolutely not some niche issue. It touches the lives of our families, our friends, and our coworkers every single day.
And despite this immense, glaring need, the systems we have in place are just completely overwhelmed. In the UK, average NHS wait times for talking therapies stretch anywhere from 18 weeks up to 2 entire years, depending on where you live. And across the Atlantic, the situation is equally rough. 60% of adults in the US with a mental illness receive absolutely no treatment at all. The gap between the need for care and the actual access to it is just enormous. Which brings us to a really crucial point. Call it the anti-pitch: an app cannot replace a therapist. We have to state explicitly what this product is not. It should never, ever try to replace professional help. Instead, think of it as simply filling the space between appointments or filling the gap for those millions of people who are quietly struggling but haven't quite reached the point of needing a full-time therapist. It does this by leaning on consistency and evidence-based cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, using techniques like expressive writing and mood tracking.
Moving on to Section 2, the AI journal solution, a gentle, unintrusive daily check-in.
Let's move to how this actually builds out for the user. The experience kicks off with a super simple 2-minute onboarding. It asks just 3 gentle questions. What brings you here today? How have you been feeling this week? And what would feel most useful? This earns the user's trust slowly, without demanding they fill out massive, intimidating forms up front. From there, we map out the daily habit loop in 4 easy steps. Step 1 is the daily nudge. It's not some alarming, loud notification, just a gentle little prompt. Step 2 is mood selection, picking a feeling on a basic 1 to 10 scale using emotional tags. Step 3 is optional writing. And notice the word optional. The user is invited to write based on a contextual prompt, never forced. And finally, step 4 is the AI reflection. Now, the AI isn't giving out clinical diagnoses or heavy life advice here. It simply offers gentle reflections, like maybe noticing that work uncertainty is weighing on them, and perhaps offering a really small, optional CBT exercise to help.
So while that daily check-in builds the habit, the true long-term value arrives when the app starts surfacing patterns. Say after a couple of weeks, the app might provide a gentle little summary noting that a user's mood consistently dips on Mondays and Wednesdays, suggesting maybe there's a connection to their busiest work days. Surfacing those weekly patterns provides the real insight needed for genuine change. And honestly, that aha moment is exactly what keeps people returning to the app over the long haul.
All right, Section 3, building responsibly. Ethics as a core product feature.
Let's get serious for a minute. If you are building in the mental health space and you decide to cut corners on ethics, you will cause real harm to real people. And that matters infinitely more than any revenue metric on a dashboard. So let's lay down the law with 4 non-negotiable rules for this build. First, you absolutely must surface crisis resources immediately if a user shows distress. We're talking the Samaritans at 116-123 in the UK or the 988 Lifeline in the US. Second, transparent AI limitations. The AI must never pretend to be a human therapist. Third, strict privacy. You have to utilize standard AES 256 encryption so your servers never hold readable text. And fourth, professional clinical review. Hiring a qualified therapist to review your prompts and your crisis protocols before you launch might cost a few £100s, but I promise you it is the absolute best investment you will ever make.
Let's pivot to Section 4, the startup tech stack.
Highly capable, incredibly accessible.
And this brilliantly illustrates how surprisingly simple the architecture actually is for something this impactful. For the AI layer, Anthropic's Claude API is the go-to choice because it's specifically designed to handle sensitive conversations with a lot of care. For the front end, React Native gives you both iOS and Android apps from just one single codebase. For the back end, pairing Node.js with Supabase gives you row-level security, meaning you get database-level privacy for every single user's journal entries. And lastly, Firebase just easily handles those daily notification nudges.
Okay, let's anchor that technical breakdown with an unbelievable contrast. To build this highly secure, privacy-focused mental health app, it costs under £400. Seriously. And utilizing the Claude API, that costs just fractions of a penny per conversation. If you have 1,000 daily active users, your AI costs are sitting at under 50 quid a month. The barriers to building something that genuinely helps people have literally never been lower.
Section 5. The revenue model. Real impact meets real sustainability.
Right now, the mental wellness market is worth over $5 billion, and it's growing fast. And there are multiple ethical ways to carve out a sustainable business here without compromising your core values. First up is the accessible, high-volume, freemium consumer model. The free tier acts as your zero-friction acquisition engine. Then a $4.99 a month premium tier unlocks those deeper pattern insights and advanced CBT exercises we talked about. Contrast that with the therapist integration upsell at $9.99 a month. This is a brilliant premium differentiator. It actually allows users to share anonymized thematic mood histories directly with their real-life therapists right before their sessions. That is genuinely useful on a clinical level.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how realistically achievable these numbers are. At just 500 premium users, you're generating £2,500 a month in recurring revenue. Hit 2,000 premium users, and that scales to £10,000 a month. For a niche wellness app that has strong word of mouth, these are not pipe dreams. And keep in mind, this is alongside entirely separate potential revenue streams like selling corporate wellness programs to HR departments or securing active health tech grants.
Finally, Section 6, launching with trust. You simply cannot launch this with Instagram ads. Look, trust is the absolute currency of mental health tools. You cannot launch a product like this by just blasting standard social media ads. It requires a totally different go-to-market strategy than your typical tech startup. Here's the grassroots playbook. Start by writing honest, niche newsletters about mental health and journaling to build an audience that actually cares about the mission. Partner with just one active therapist on social media. Seriously, one trusted therapist authentically recommending your app to their followers is worth infinitely more than thousands of pounds in paid ads. Run a coordinated product hunt launch and lean heavily into App Store search optimization for terms like Mood Tracker or CBT app to drive organic daily installs. In this space, you grow through genuine word of mouth. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a personal question to chew on. What would make it easier for you to start journaling today? You see, tools built with genuine care, true responsibility, and an eye for what users actually need will always find their audience. Finding that intersection of real human impact and real revenue is rare, but as we've seen today, it is entirely possible. Think about everything we've covered and maybe ask yourself how you might be able to build something that truly matters. Thanks so much for exploring this blueprint with me.